Hey, it's John and Mike, Brew-Dudes.com. We have 3 beers in front of each of us, 6 beers in total, and this is actually a follow-on from the previous video that we posted last week. But in many years, that will be like, what do you mean? So this is a follow-up to the previous video where we had this hoppy American Pale Ale that Mike made with Simcoe and Amarillo and Citra with some nugget to bitter. And then he says, hey, yo, I also brewed the same recipe, I think. No?
Yep, same recipe.
Same recipe, but just a different yeast strain. So I'm guessing we have 3 different beers in the definition of beers because there's 3 different yeast strains.
3 different yeasts. So this is a yeast comparison in this pale ale. So what I was really curious about is this is your standard. The first one, which is what we had last time, is the Fermentis US-05. Everybody's favorite Cali beer strain, the red little packages, right?
Sure.
So that's that one. And the question was, there's so many great new yeasts available, and there's some yeasts that you've recently been playing with. I've been playing with dry yeast like really hard.
Of course.
So we got a couple, we have 2 examples here. One, you're gonna know what it is. You're gonna go, oh, okay, that's cool. And the other one is like a yeast that I don't think either of us have brewed with before, but I just happened to find it when I was pulling yeast for the experiment. So what do you think about number B compared to A?
Letter B, I can say that the hops are expressing themselves a lot more on the nose than A. This is the one we had before, and I commented like there wasn't much of a hoppy aroma. This one, certainly getting more of it. Can't say I can pull out any notes, for instance.
No, just like hops. It's like opening a hop bag and going,
right, some hop pellets. But yeah, it's this is a little more brighter, a little more citrusy.
Yeah.
Wow. How about you?
I definitely pull off of here. I'll let you give a descriptor first, because I'm giddy with excitement.
Yeah, it's citrusy. The aftertaste is hitting me harder because it's like really kind of a little more pithy.
Yep.
And, trying to get more like the front end and the more the brightness.
Yep.
I'm getting, I'll have to say, orangey.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
I still get a little bit of that candied pineapple, but there's almost like candied orange peel now too.
Yeah.
There's definitely a little bit of that Amarillo orange peel coming through, which I found to be interesting because I've been really struggling. I want Amarillo to deliver for me orange tangerine.
That's
good. It usually doesn't, but this is now getting a little bit closer.
There. Yeah.
I will tell you that all 3 of these beers fermented down to 10-10.
Okay.
So they all had the same amount of attenuation from the 1056 start.
Okay.
Right. Well, what do you think about the way the malt side of the beer presents itself in these 2 beers?
All right, we'll go
a little bit, or at least mouthfeel, whatever you get there.
I find A to be a little fuller.
Yep, me too.
And it's just because the brightness of the hops, it kind of the malt platform foundation takes a bad seat. Yeah.
Do you have a preference? I prefer B.
Of course, I prefer
now,
B.
I would drink a load of this and be perfectly content with it. I wouldn't think it remarkable. This one is a step closer to, hey, that's a pretty interesting beer.
Yeah.
In fact, I want to drink more of it to see if I can get more flavor.
Yes.
Like I'm a little bit intrigued by it, right?
Yes, and it actually brings more flavor each time I sip it. I get more. It was hard. I had a citrus note, but my brain always kind of like scans it between grapefruit, orange. This is how I think about it. Now
this is how everyone should think about it.
Okay. Grapefruit's over here.
Yep.
Orange is in the middle.
Yep.
Lemon's over here. And then lime is somewhere.
Hey!
Lime is like tangential to...
Don't forget me!
Tangential to lemon. But like it's weird. It's hard to like, for me to pull that out.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like an earthier lemon.
It's like the prism of citrus.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
That's cool.
All right, so that's B.
So you want to know what this is first?
Yes.
This is Cellar
B.
Science Cali.
Ah, nice. Okay.
Yes. Now, I've brewed a handful of beers with this in the past, not doing any side-by-sides, but been extremely satisfied with it.
Yeah.
and more so just satisfied with the cleanliness of it.
Yep.
Right, and how it seems just make the beer a little bit brighter.
And the same hop lots.
This is 10 gallons of wort split into 3 fermenters, all done at the same time.
Jeez.
3 fermenters, all fermenting at the same time, same temperature, same conditions, same axial rotation of the earth.
And no dry hopping. And
No dry hopping, because I just
the
wanted
other thing.
to focus on the beer.
That's right.
Because it's hard to try to go dry hop all 3 of them in the same
Oh,
way,
I know.
right? So,
There's no way.
anyway, so C will be the wild card.
Yeah, okay. Trying real hard, man. I think B had more of a hop aroma than C. You're sounding like a meme. Like,
I am.
do I like it?
I am.
All right, maybe.
Okay. Yep. I tasted these when I was getting gravity readings a few days back.
Okay, well, let's talk C. Not a lot of hop aroma. I would say it's more in league with A. Maybe a touch higher than A in terms of what I'm perceiving. But it's not as expressive as B. All right. In terms of flavor, it's so funny. Like, I would say this is how I'd rank them.
Yep.
That A is pretty muted.
Yep.
You know, solid bittering, balanced hop flavor, and then C is like a step up, just a step up.
Yep.
A little bit more citrusy, a fair amount brighter, but nowhere, not close to this. This is like 2 steps up from what I would think is more of a zesty pop of a hop. So again, well balanced. And you asked about the how the malt expressed itself in the beer. It's kind of on par with this. This is definitely has.
I find it to be a little bit more I think I get a little bit more of the Munich presence. It doesn't taste Munich-y, but it's just a little bit more than that is. There's definitely, I get more of the beer side of it. And I think that while I can't define the fruit character as well as I can in B, it's certainly more fruity than A is. It's a little bit more citrus.
Yep.
If I had to say, it's really more of a blending of those citrus characters. It's not really distinctly orange to lemon or whatever. It's just sort of like citrus.
Yeah.
Where I can't really say citrus with this.
No.
I get that. And I also, and this one too, what I'm calling that, the presence of that candied pineapple is sort of gone for me here in this one. I get it here, but it's mostly orange, citrus here. But the only thing I get out of it is candied pineapple.
Yeah.
Right. So
C seems more bitter to me too. Yeah.
Yes. That I noted when I was tasting the samples. The bitterness rang out more true in this one than it does in the other 2.
That's weird.
Yeah,
That
is
is
weird. So when I was tasting these samples, I was like, wow, actually 3 different. I just sort of expected this to be very similar. But I think if I gave you this in a triangle test, if I picked 2 of them, you'd probably be able to pull them apart.
I think so.
Do you think you could pull B and C apart?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to lead the witness, but
No,
yes.
you're like saying this and you're nodding.
So do you?
Yeah. Oh, nope.
That's how we do it here on the show.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So C is Apex Cultures San Diego brewing yeast. So Apex Cultures is brought into the United States by LD Carlson. So they're I don't know if I'm going to say small shop. I don't know, but they're a brewing yeast company out of, I'm going to get this wrong. I just looked it up. Switzerland or Sweden, one of those SW ones.
Gotcha.
I looked it up. But anyway, it's
You can. Well, in the
it'll be in the comments. It'll be in the comments. But anyway, but you can find it starting to show up in more and more homebrew stores. I looked in several of the online shops, and Apex Cultures is showing up. It's got like an orange package with like a molecular picture on it. So, and they sell a couple other yeasts. They have like a Munich yeast and a couple other yeasts. So anyway, I found this one really good at expressing the bitterness. So if you were going to really go whole hog here and amp up, I'm doing a relatively light hop load. So amp up the hop load, give it a heavy dry hop, your bitterness would still come through there. You'd probably could find yourself, San Diego, in a pretty good West Coast IPA scenario with this guy. With this one, the classic Chico strain, at least this envelope of dry yeast, which was fresh, and I mean, it's not like I had it kicking around. I think with this one, you're going to really struggle to like, you're going to like just be adding more and more hops every time you brew with this one to get like your favorite recipe combination to start to express and pop out. Right? Yeah. Which is interesting because so many people, we've been brewing with Chico for so long. But this one for me is the clear winner. It's bright, it's clear, it's the hop character is far more interesting in the two of them, and the bitterness is in check the way I want to have it rest in the beer, right?
True that. Yeah.
So yeah, and the good thing is I've been brewing with this for a bit, and I like it, so I'll continue brewing with Cali, right? That Cellar Science Cali. Yeah,
Cellar Science, man. I know I discussed that on one of the beers that I brewed with, and I was just like, I think it was that graduation pale ale.
Yep.
Are you doing that for a color comparison?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both the same. This one's a little darker.
Yeah.
And these are all closed transfer.
Yeah.
From once the yeast went in there, stayed closed transfer. I burned a lot of CO2 purging 3 kegs, moving 3 kegs.
Is that why you had to go to Jasper's?
Yeah, get more. Yeah. So.
All right. So what did we learn here?
That for me, maybe some of the struggles with hops too is, I mean, it's not surprising, but yeast selection obviously plays a big role in that. Again, I wouldn't say that these hops are jumping out the way I've been told they should be jumping out. Maybe there's a little bit more brewing technique going on there, but I think it's definitely worth it to, if you are always just brewing with Chico because it's easy, it's accessible, it's there for you, but you're still struggling to get the recipe, something to work the way you want it to work, maybe the answer is just a simple yeast switch.
How about that?
Right?
Yeah.
Just a simple yeast switch with the recipe you already have might brighten it up. Or at least recreationally, just take your favorite recipe and use a different yeast and get a different beer and be like, wow, I really like this, or maybe I don't like it, but it'd just be something different.
Yep.
It's just an exploration of the tools in the arsenal.
Totally, yeah. I think we always talk about have those house recipes, the ones that you know and can brew 1,000 times or multiple times. So you have a good sense of how they turn out. And that's when you can make one change to see how much of that difference can have the effect on your beer. Like, so Mike brewed the same beer once, but it's 3 different
one
beers.
Big batch.
One big batch, 3
yep.
different,
yep.
And you have 3 different beers here. Another vote for Cellar Science, I guess.
Yeah, I've liked a lot of their products. Maybe there'll be some future exploration throwing Cellar Science into the ring.
Potentially, yes. All right, well, hopefully, we love comparisons, and this is how you learn. If you don't have, the beer right next to it to compare, it's hard to do and really learn something from it. So here we go, 3 beers, and we learned something that if you're kind of trying to tweak a recipe, try a different yeast strain for sure. I think that's the moral of the story.
Moral of the story.
All right. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel because we do this kind of thing every single week. For John and Mike, brew-dudes.com, I'm choosing C. Brew on.
Cheers.